Hi, I'm Sam, your resident fantasy reader,
And I'm Morgan, your romance reader, and we welcome you to Just One More Page.
where it's never just one more page. Hello.
Hello. I love how I was like, yeah, Sam, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, wait, where did I put my notes? Because we were chit-chatting for a little bit, and then I'm just like, la, 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 la. And you're like, okay, let's go. I'm like, okay. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I bring up my notes? I don't remember where anything is. Anyways, how's your week going?
It's going good, you know? I mean, I only worked, I worked like one day this week, and then I had like stupid training, which let me just tell you. And if you follow us on TikTok, you will have already seen the video of me griping about this. I got to my training super early. Mind you, this hospital is humongous. Like it's like 8 floors and it's just a giant maze. And I've gotten myself lost at least 3 different times. So I get there super early just so I can like find where I'm supposed to be going and have the opportunity to get lost. So I'm sitting in the training room and the door is open and there's like 2 people who are checking the students. They call us students, but we're registered nurses. We're in training, and so there's 2 people checking us in, and then there's like the person who's actually going to do the education. And so I guess someone had recommended a book to there's 3 people. I can't see any of them. The door is like half closed. I can't tell you which voice belongs to who. One girl had a book like recommended to her, and she was like, so I guess she started looking up that book on like Instagram or something to like just find out what it's about and whatnot. And then the algorithm hit her hard, and she ended up between Instagram and then TikTok. She ended up on Book Talk, and she ended up on like the weird side of not really weird side, but she ended up on like a very specific side of Book Talk where it's very like spice heavy and very niche. And I guess in this specific niche, there's like girls who really like motorcycle guys and stuff. I don't know. There's pirates, mafia. This is motorcycle book talk. I didn't know this was a thing. Whatever, book talk's huge. It's got its little niches and stuff, and that's where she ended up. Well, then she like proceeded to make the comment of like girls who are desperate and have no life, and I was like,
I bet your head snapped. Like, what?
Which I was like, I was enjoying the conversation because she's like, I ended up on Book Talk, like, but she said it in like a question mark, like she'd never heard of it before, and that's fine. I mean, if you don't read books, you don't know this thing exists. It's fine. And then they like proceeded to smash book talkers and how we have no lives and how we are just like desperate and pathetic and alone. And I'm sitting there going, "Are you right now?" And I'm not a confrontational person. So what did I do? I put it on TikTok. Like, you know, if she finds it, she finds it. If she doesn't, that's fine. I took my badge off and you can like see like my uniform, but navy blue for nurses is a very common color. So you don't know what hospital I work for. And North Carolina is big enough. You don't know which hospital I work for, which is the goal. I don't want anyone to know who I actually work for. But I was just like, this bitch.
What did I tell you to do when you told me that, this lady?
Oh, to go out and tell her, like, bring her stickers and let her know that I run a book
be like,
podcast
hey,
and whatnot.
Here's some stickers to my book podcast.
Which next week I have to go back to that same hospital for more training. So I'm probably going to wear our podcast sweatshirt.
Please do it, please.
I'm going to wear a podcast sweatshirt. Like I have like a book sticker and I have our podcast sticker on the back of my phone and stuff, but you can't see what it is. But it's somewhere in my closet because it's been so hot out. I haven't worn it. So I'm pulling that dang sweatshirt out because it's getting cold again. Yay, sweater weather. And I'm going to wear that dang sweatshirt to training, and I hope that nurse is there.
I hope so too. Listen.
And I'll just be like, oh, yeah, have you ever heard of Book Talk? I'm going to be like, we got like, I don't know, 5,000 followers on Book Talk, and we're about to interview some authors and stuff. I mean, it's okay. It's fun.
It's a fun time.
And just be like, shut up and sit down.
I think I'd be really petty. I would wear everything book related I own. I would wear like my book headband. I would wear my book shirt. I would wear book themed socks. I would wear my sweatshirt. I would wear everything book related. And just,
if it was a part of the uniform, I would totally do it, but we have to be in uniform. But the sweatshirt doesn't matter because the sweatshirt's actually the same color as the uniform. I completely
agree. Listen, be petty. I love that.
Oh, listen, we are about to be so petty.
Just keep on reading and be petty. I love that. So
That should be
Oh
our
my god.
slogan. Keep on reading and be petty. Oh
Wait,
my
be
gosh.
petty. Is it sound better? Be petty and keep on reading, or keep on reading and be petty?
Be petty and keep
Be
on
petty and
reading.
keep on. Okay, we need that as a sticker. I'm copywriting that. No one steal that.
There
Don't
you
steal
go.
that. No one steal that, please. We don't have many slogans, but please don't steal that. Uh,
I like it. I
I'm gonna
like
write.
it.
Wait, I gotta write. Someone has to write that down. Not the
Well,
viewers,
I'm
but
writing it.
you
I'm texting it to
write
you
it
right
down.
now.
Write it down. So unfortunately, I don't have anything like that that happened to me this week. Unfortunately, I had because I would have thrown stickers at them. But what happened to me this week is I read 5 books so far this week, Sam. This week.
Nice.
What's wrong with me? I don't know. I went crazy. I
Well, you were in a reading slump for
Oh,
a while
yeah, and I
too.
was, like, 10 books behind my goal, and so far now, I think I'm 5 books behind my goal still, which is okay, but I read, so there's one book that I finished that I had started, like, a month ago, and I it wasn't the best book ever, and I think I read, like, half of it, and I finished it this week, and then I read a Lucy Score book, which I listened to as an audiobook. And then I read a bunch of other books. There's one book though that I read, and I don't know why. I was like, listen, Sam's doing TikToks for Wednesday. I'm off Wednesday, so I can sleep in. So I have to wake up early and post TikTok. So I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stay up late. I'm gonna read this book and I'm gonna finish it, which I did. I finished it at 4 a.m. But the next day, did I have to keep on taking naps? Yes. Listen, I am too old to be doing a readathon. I've realized this. I would love to do a readathon, but I'm too old. And I think I posted it on TikTok where I was like, I can't do a readathon. And someone commented, and I think this is a good idea. I think y'all need to write it down, where she said everyone should do a 48-hour readathon where you sleep, where you can go to bed, and the next day you wake up and you read to where you were. I
Yeah.
think that makes more sense.
Because I've seen people who like she was saying like do a 24-hour readathon in 48 hours, so it's like 12 hours of reading in 2 days, and then just like set a timer, you know?
Yeah, and I agree. I think that you listen, I love reading, I do, but I definitely think it would mess up my sleep schedule if I stayed up for a whole 24 hours. Like
Mhm.
it would be horrible. I can barely sleep as it is, so no thank you. I couldn't do it. Anyways, I guess, let's stay petty and keep on reading and talk about this book that we're going to be we're going to be talking about
Right? I
today.
mean, speaking of
Speaking of
TikTok.
TikTok, hint, hint, we're going to be reading our second novel for Jesse Q Sutanto. The first one being Well, That Was Unexpected, which we talked about on episode 39. Isn't that crazy, Sam? We're already on episode
Mm,
134, which is
Jesus.
absolutely crazy. I think every single time I think about how, like, in the past, like, I was like, wow, we're on episode 34. That's so much. And I'm like, now we're on episode past 100. What? Anyways, so this novel actually follows Meredith and Aspen. Influencer Meredith is angry. After all, she didn't teach Aspen Palmer everything about social media for her to ditch her as soon as she becomes popular. So no one can blame Meredith for doing a little stalking, right? Then Meredith gets lucky. She finds one of Aspen's kids' iPad and swipes it. Now she can get access to the family's calendar and, more importantly, Aspen's social media accounts. Of course, Meredith can't help but change things around and, of course, take some of Aspen's meetings with potential sponsors. After all, Meredith deserves it over Aspen. Aspen's life is falling apart. She can't figure out why. She's missing appointments, sponsors are dropping her, and other fellow influencers are ghosting her. Even her own husband doesn't want anything to do with her. But what everyone else seems to forget is that Aspen didn't become one of TikTok's biggest mom influencers by being naive. Except when Meredith suddenly goes missing, Aspen's whole life is upended and a mysterious threat begins to arrive, but she won't let anything get in her way of a perfect life again. Okay, Sam, what did you think?
This book was a mess, but I had fun with it, honestly. I think I enjoyed how messy it was. I don't know. I think this book was just one giant miscommunication trope, but like
Ah,
I don't
it
know.
was a
It was crazy.
miscommunication trope, but also the two girls were absolutely crazy.
They were crazy, but you know what? I like really enjoyed seeing like the dual point of views and then like just the insanity in their brains. And I also thought it was super interesting too, um, of reading kind of really wasn't like a I don't know if I want to call it a thriller novel or how to label this,
Oh, I don't
but
think this is a
a book
thriller.
basically shows the horrors and the like mental health issues that can come with being social media
Hmm.
influencers and like the lengths they'll go to for followers and then just the sheer pettiness that can happen in between because when you start getting followers and you have to hold on to the followers and you have to like represent yourself as this like certain person and you can't deviate away from your brand and your brand is your life and like how it affects your family and stuff. I just thought it was different. It was
Yeah, it
definitely
definitely
different and
was.
I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed this book.
So, what did you rate it?
Four
Four
stars.
stars? Oh, okay. Okay. I guess, like, listen, that's the point of this podcast is that we can be on a different page. Haha. Just one page. Get it? Different page.
Just one more page.
Listen, I'm full of puns today.
Be petty,
People,
keep reading.
yeah, I don't know why I'm full of these one liners. It's because I already had 2 cups of coffee. Don't mind me. Anyways, I would like to say that, firstly, I don't think we're influencers, but kind of we are. You know,
No.
like when I think of an influencer, I think of Meredith and Aspen, someone with perfect life, whatever, whatever. So, but there were times in this book I could definitely sympathize with both Aspen and Meredith. From Aspen struggling to
Yes.
show off her perfect life on TikTok, even though we both know that she was struggling and her life was nothing but perfect. From Meredith, who is struggling with jealousy of someone who she thought was below her, is now gaining more followers of her, and also her dealing with the fact that she is like, I'm failing kind of thing. And I feel like I could really understand both sides and the reasons why their friendship failed. If you even could call it a friendship, because I guess spoilers, okay? But the thing is,
Yeah.
I expected this to be more so of a thriller and mystery novel. And I didn't really feel like the writer delivered on that. I personally hate when a book will just straight up tell you what is happening. A book is like, "Oh, well, I murdered her." Like, in the book Murder of oh wait, no, what was it? Death at Morning House or something like that. They basically tell
Mm-hmm.
you, and this is not a spoiler. They basically tell you like, "Oh, this person did it. This person killed this person." And you're like, "But I really want to know the mystery. I want to know a twist. I want it to be written into it. I don't want to just be told." And that's how I felt like this book is like I was being told. I wanted to be surprised. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Instead, you just like the first half of the book, you get Meredith obsessing over Aspen, Aspen obsessing over herself. And I was just looking forward towards a twist that never came. And if there's one thing I've learned, is that you should never, ever trust mom influencers. So, yeah. Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun,
I rated
dun.
it 3 stars. I'll be honest with you, Sam. 2.5, 3 stars.
I mean,
Hmm.
I mean fair. I feel like the book telling you exactly what was happening allowed for the chaos at the end to play out because there is like the book you can almost say is in like two
Yeah.
acts. You've got the beginning with the dual points of view between Meredith and Aspen and then kind of like watching both their points of view and then you have the end with Meredith finally no longer being a part of the picture, as it says in the summary, and then it's just Aspen's point of view and just the chaos of, and she created her own chaos, like
Yeah.
just the chaos that happens after that, and then her trying to like clean that up and just the franticness of it, and then her crazy ass, um, what you call it, her
Yeah.
assistant, and just I wanted more out of that though, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll get more into it in the spoiler
Yeah. And I
section.
guess, you know what? I feel like this book did I don't know, like I just wanted something else than what we got. And it's
Mm.
mostly because of me because I have these un like I have these things I think are going to happen and they don't happen, and then I'm like a little bit disappointed, which is my own fault.
Yeah.
I'm my own issue. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. But I guess I was just a little bit disappointed in the novel itself. But anyways, we're going to go into our spoilers section of the novel. If you've yet to read You Will Never Be Me, then you should check it out, or you should stay and listen to us spoil the book. If not, if you don't want to be spoiled, you should check out last week's episode in which we read The Doll Makers by Lynn Bashana. And I can say for certain, I still hate dolls. Okay. I still hate them. But, anyways, let's go into our spoilers section. So, Sam, what would you like to talk
Dun, dun,
about
dun.
first?
Okay, so you said you listened to this book really really fast, like at like 2 point whatever speed. There was a moment in the book, and it was a singular word that she said, and I was like, oh my god. Because here she is, here's it was Aspen. I'm talking about Aspen. Aspen's
Yeah.
talking about like her life and everything, and you kind of sympathize with her husband a little bit because she's videoing the first time her daughter stands up and Ben gets in the frame, and she's like, get out of the frame because I'm trying to, and he's like, well, this is my daughter, like I'm, and you kind of like sympathize with the fact that she's using her family for content and clout, and she's ruining like special moments, and you're just like, you kind of like, I feel sorry for you, Ben. Like, you knew what you were signing up for when you started dating her, but I feel sorry for you because she's ruining all these like very special moments you will never get back. And then she says he's having another affair, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What's another affair? Where'd the first one come from? And I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna get so messy. And you know what? I enjoyed the mess that was their relationship, and then just watching her like backtrack her way out, and then eventually like getting Ben arrested for her
Yeah.
murder. I was just like, because I didn't know how this was going to end. And I was like, is she going to get out scot free? Or is she going to be walking away in handcuffs? And I think that was like the biggest, most interesting part of the story was, is she going to get away with this?
Yeah. Because,
And I
mhm.
honestly thought the assistant was going to rat her out on TikTok.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think that, like you said, the thing that's interesting about this book is that the beginning of it is Meredith and Aspen's point of views. And then you get to,
Mm-hmm.
like, I think it's episode 18, or not episode, I'm sorry, chapter 18. And then it goes to just
Mm-hmm.
Aspen's point of view. And at this point, you have already known that Aspen killed her best friend. She killed her best friend. She's
Yep.
like, nope, you're getting in my way of my TikTok fame. So I gotta unalive you. And then the rest of the book is, how is she gonna get, like, out of this, and blah blah blah. How is she gonna, like, not be charged with this murder? And she's such a snake. But yeah, I kind of knew that Ben was going to take blame of it too, because, like, I feel like in her eyes, Ben was a weak link, and she only had him there because she felt like it would look bad on TikTok or on social media that her and Ben were no longer together. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why she was like, "Oh no, Ben, I'm going to throw you under the bus." I just kind of thought that it would have been more interesting if we didn't know that she actually killed Meredith until the end. Like, if you are like, you know that Meredith goes missing and she's worried for Meredith, and you're like, oh my gosh, she's really worried for Meredith, and then you find out in the end that she actually did it. I feel like that would have been more of a twist, or it would have been a super
Yeah.
twist of her assistant, who was a fan of her, who literally slashed her tires like a psychopath because she met Aspen outside of a party and was like, oh my god, your tires are slashed, let me take you for a ride and get close to you. Like, it would make more sense if she killed Meredith. And I get why Aspen killed Meredith, because Meredith was messing with her fame, her family, and also was cheating on. Well, I don't even think that she really meant to like, kiss Ben. It was more so she missed Aspen so much that she went to her husband, which, and no, like, that is no excuse for kissing her best friend's
Yeah,
husband.
but
Ugh,
ugh,
gross.
that's kind of icky.
It's very icky. But Meredith had a very, I mean, they both had a very unnatural sort of relationship where Meredith was like, literally dying. And she's like, you're my best friend. You're my
Yeah.
best friend. I'm sorry, Sam. But if you tried drugging me and killing me, I'd be like, I would have some choice words to say, okay? I wouldn't be
Right.
like, that's my best friend about to smother me with a pillow. Like, no.
Well, and like Meredith, because I really like that
Yeah.
we at the very very beginning we got like Meredith's initial thoughts on Aspen of like, oh, this poor girl who is trying to make it as an influencer, like they're there, tap tap. I'm gonna take you under my wings and teach you all of my things. And then when Aspen started to surpass her, and then she was starting to get mad about it, it was like she didn't really, I don't think she ever wanted Aspen to truly make it. She just wanted like a friend, or at least a person, like a fan, but like a close fan who's just going to sit there and
Yeah.
idolize her and be like, I could never be like you. And then when she was, and then she did better, and it was just, and then Aspen started like turning it around, and she was like, hey, I'm not taking you to this event, even though Meredith took her to all those events. It was very like Meredith thought it'd be a quid pro quo kind of relationship. And then all of a sudden it was like Aspen took off, and she was like, that bitch, I taught her everything that she
Well,
knows, and blah, blah, blah. Why didn't she teach me? And I was like, this is so
petty. It's so
whacked.
petty.
It is
But
so
here's the
petty.
thing that gets me about I understand Meredith's point of view because she was already like the top dog. And she kind of viewed
Yeah.
Aspen, like you said, as a follower. And even though Aspen said, like, I would have, she's like, I wouldn't mind being the followers. I didn't care that she had more followers than me. She said that after Meredith died. I think she would have cared if
Yeah.
Meredith had more followers to her. I just think that Meredith was so obsessed with being on top, but also like that hurt that comes with the fact that Aspen wasn't telling her things to get her like the same followers as her, was keeping her secrets to herself. Didn't and Aspen didn't want Meredith to grow, I don't feel like. Because if she wanted Meredith to grow, she would have told Meredith, like, oh no, I'm not doing these morning routines, which we all know. We all know. Every single person who's not even the influencer know that these mom influencers, they're
Oh, they're
fake. They're fake as
fake.
fuck. They're
They're
so
fake.
fake, okay? So, the fact that one, Meredith can figure it out, that's a different kind of story, but the fact that Aspen wasn't like, "Hey, Mare, just so you know, like, I'm actually waking up early and doing this, like, this is how you should do it, this is how you should do this is how you know,"
Hmm.
and instead, she just kept it to herself, which was really frustrating. I don't but mhm.
What is your thoughts on Meredith getting a sperm donor to have a kid?
I honestly, at some I hope it wasn't because she wants to be a mom influencer like Aspen, but part of me kind of wonders if she wanted in some way to relate to Aspen, if, to stay friends with her, and so she was like, "I'm just gonna have a baby too." But do I think
Yeah, and
she
that's,
didn't like? Did I think that she didn't love Luca? No, I think she really loved Luca.
yeah, I think there was definitely some, and even Asper talks about it, some postpartum depression that was
Yeah.
going on. And as someone who suffered from postpartum depression, that shit is
Hmm.
real, and it
Hmm.
sucks. And you go into this like deep, deep hole, and now have postpartum depression, being a single mother who is also plastered all over the social media. It's like that just adds layers onto it, and I kind of felt for her. I understand, like I think she even like says that she got pregnant, so her and Aspen had something to bond over, because Aspen was like slowly moving away from
Yeah.
her because she was married and she had her kids and she had her social media fame, and she just wanted her friend. So she was like, well, I'll get pregnant too, and then our babies can be friends and
Yeah.
stuff. And then just didn't expect the aftermath of what actually having a baby
Yeah.
is. And then blaming Aspen for her making motherhood look so perfect and easy. I was like, it's social media. You know this
Yeah,
crap's
but I think
fake.
that's
You know it's
I
fake.
think
We're all
Oh,
struggling
yeah,
out
of
here,
course.
man.
I think that some people don't think it's fake, though. I think that some people look at other people's posts and they think, "Oh, you have it so easy. You post blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. This is so easy." And then they're like, "Why am I not growing?" Because, like, I personally think that it was super interesting that the main characters were influencers because, although at first I'll fully admit that I was a little bit worried because I do think that sometimes writers don't do a good job at handling social media. Is either they don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to write about social media or they include it so much where they're like TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. But instead, I felt like this writer did an excellent job writing the ups and downs that come with social media. And I can talk about it on like a personal matter about social media because obviously we're on social media. We have a podcast. We also have
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. We have TikTok, and like I run most of the TikTok account, and I know like I would get burnt out all the time from TikTok. And like I went through a phase where I would feel really upset and really kind of like in some ways depressed over TikTok because like you can't help but put yourself up against other people being like, okay, their videos are doing really well, mine are not. Is it because like
Mm-hmm.
Is it because I'm not pretty enough? Is it because of my camera? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? Is it because of that? Is what is it about? And then you kind of have to like, I can understand how people can get so depressed and sad and frustrated and like, I feel like I had to take a step back and be like, let's just have fun. Let's just post videos that you
Yeah.
like, videos that you would find fun and have fun. Yes. Do I still get a little burnt out on TikTok? Yeah. Do I still like look crazy at the analytics and see what time is the best time to post and post at like 3 a.m. in the morning? Yes. But am I having fun? Yeah. Will I get upset if I miss a post? Kind of, but not really. And I think like that's the thing is like if you're not having fun and if this is not something you enjoy, then it's just gonna burn you out and it's just gonna make you more and more
Yeah.
upset. And and also like the whole thing of like having money and feeling like you have to make money and be good and good and good and better, that would drive me up a wall too. So I understand how Aspen and Meredith got so competitive over their follower count. Although I do want to say, I think that Aspen is a shitty mom by
Oh, absolutely.
including her daughter, including her family in this. And there's one thing of doing social media for money, and then there's another thing being a sellout. And yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got to say about social media. The end. My TED talk.
There you go. I feel like too with our TikTok, like once you kind of like started having more fun and less like you were looking at the analytics and then trying to use the
Yeah.
analytics to then like move on to the next video and you started having more fun with it. I feel like that's when your views started getting
Yeah.
better because you could see the joy you were having in the
Yeah.
videos. And I feel like TikTok too is one of those, it's part
Luck.
like quality content and part luck. Like our random Barnes and Noble video where we posted it and it had like what it's like at over 100,000 views or something like that, and then you've had a few that have gone
Yeah.
viral and like it's just the most
It's
random
usually the
ones, and it's
ones
just
that
like
I don't have really good makeup in and my hair's messy. That's the
yeah,
one that TikTok's like, that one viral. The one where you actually like
yeah,
spent time doing your makeup and brushing your hair and making your hair look really nice, 200 views. That's it. That's all you're going to get. But gross
yeah,
ass makeup, stain on your shirt, 5,000 views, 20,000 views. You're like,
right.
thank you for that. I
I
guess.
know my chaos hair and my AirPod in my ear being like, "Don't buy that Kindle." Oh, you want 70,000 views?
Here
Here
you
you
go.
go. I'm
No,
like,
no,
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 not that
stop,
one.
stop, man,
Please,
stop.
please, not that one. Well, I was gonna ask you a question because obviously Aspen and Meredith were mom influencers. How do you feel
Yeah.
about putting? Because you have obviously Clayton. Clayton is Sam's son. How do you feel about mom influencers now that you've had a baby?
I get it. I do. They're so cute and they're so much fun and you just want to show them off and everything. But at the same time, I'm just thinking about later on, predators
Hmm.
on the internet. Because who knows who's watching your stuff. The only place that I post Clayton's face for the most part is Facebook. Because I have a little more control over like who sees it and everything. You may see him randomly in my TikTok videos, but you mostly hear him. You do not see him very
Yeah.
often. Because that it's not for me to decide how much exposure he's going to have on the internet. When he's ready for social media, he can decide if he wants to be on it or not. But that's not up to me. And I feel like moms who just like mom influencers use their children themselves as like clout
Hmm.
basically. Now I do follow some influencers who play their kids parts as their children and everything, and those are a lot of fun because they're showing motherhood and they're showing like the chaos that is motherhood without using their actual child. And I feel like that's better than putting your child in front of a camera, because when you see even in this book like Noemi and Alea and even Sabine, but she was little, being like, no mommy, I don't want to do this, and no mommy, like I want to just play on my iPad, I don't want to go lay in bed for your video. And it's just like I don't think it's healthy, it's not good for the kids mental health, and I will never do that to Clayton.
Yeah.
um Ever. And I don't care what people think of me. I put myself on the internet clearly between this podcast and then our TikTok and everything. but that's me. That's me personally. And I will not put Clayton's face on our TikTok ever unless he accidentally pops up in the corner, which has happened a
Yes.
couple times, but he's not the center of
Yes.
attention.
I just think that kids don't have like, yes, there are some kids out there that love to be on the internet, that would love like there's some influencers out there that are like, well, I asked my kid says yeah. But does your kid really know what they're saying yes to?
They don't
And also
understand.
like I would hate it because I think about because obviously we grew up in high school. Was it in high school? Maybe it was college with like the Shaytards, where it was like a
Hmm.
vlogging family. And there was another family that used to vlog all the time. And I remember that maybe I'm making this up, but I remember one of the kids say that they hated being on camera or that they hated that like messed up their family. And I think that
Right.
being on camera and then having to be perfect, it puts so much stress on these kids and it's unfair. And also, I want to just say right now, Aspen, I don't like her. I don't like, well, first off, I don't like her, but like, it's the fact that she is so protective over her kids, but yet she constantly put them on the internet and she didn't care about trolls. She didn't care about a troll knowing where her kids go to school or where they go to ballet. She really did not care. All she cared about was sponsorship, money.
Mm-mm.
And then if she did care about them, she would stop posting or she would find another source of income or she would save up money or she would downsize. And then on top of that, her taking away Luca's mother from Luca is even more shitty. I don't know.
Yeah, and then starting that dang GoFundMe, I was like,
But
bitch, please.
no, no.
Um, Another thing too, and not necessarily off the book, but just like kids in social media. I feel I don't think we're gonna see it right now. We're starting to see it, but I feel like it's the same idea as the childhood stars that we grew up with that now have their drug issues, their mental health issues. They're just like falling apart. I think it's the same idea. We're now putting it more in our own hands than like Disney or
Yeah,
Nickelodeon,
exactly. And I think that
and it's
no,
not
it's not healthy
healthy.
at all. And I mean, just get your kid a book, okay? Don't put them on the internet. Just get them a good book and eventually they'll become a book talker, okay? That's what you should do. Play the long game, okay?
There you go. Play
Play
the
the long
long
game.
game.
Do you have any final thoughts about this book, Sam?
Uh no, not really. I think I said my piece. I enjoyed it overall. I mean, I said 4 stars, and I'll stick to my 4 star rating. I liked how messy this book was and just chaotic, and I had a good time with it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 stars.
I liked it for what it was, but I was a little bit disappointed because once again, like, it Aspen pretty much tells you right away, like, "Oh, yeah, I killed my best friend. It's not a big deal." Girly pop, it's not a big thing. I just did it for the plot, and it's very frustrating because like, I wanted more substance. I wanted that twist. I wanted the assistant to be involved. I wanted something bigger than what we got. But did I like the whole storyline of influencers? Yeah, I did. I like that whole concept, and I think that, Jesse did a really great job at writing about influencers and about, like talking about what they go through and how they feel and the competitiveness and the depression that goes along with it and also talking about like mom influencers, which I think is very interesting. But if you guys are curious, next week we're going to be reading a YA romance. This is called The Sticky Note Manifesto of Anisha Argwell. Aisha's dreams is to attend Stanford, but she is stuck on the essay question, which is how have you gotten out of your comfort zone? But Anisha, life has been full of school, homework, and eating junk food. When Aisha's crush asks her out to winter formal, she finally feels like her luck is turning around, that she can finally answer the question. Instead, a beat up Volkswagen drives up to her asking if she needs a ride. Usually, she wouldn't take the ride, but because of the Stanford essay question, she's convinced to take the ride. To Aisha's relief, 17-year-old Quentin isn't a kidnapper, but he is failing math. They strike up a deal. She will help him pass math, and he will help push her out of her comfort zone. He will also help her become a confident person, which is something that she always wanted to be. From New Year Eve kisses to high school parties, Aisha's sticky note manifesto is taking off. But when she falls for the wrong guy, hurts her best friend, and still can't finish her essay question, victory is far from reach. Is winning worth it if you lose yourself in the process? So, this is the book we're going to be reading next week. If you guys do like this episode and would like to support us, please remember to rate us on Spotify, as it does help push our podcast out there. Also, remember to check out anywhere else you can find a podcast, such as obviously Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can also check out our YouTube channel called Just More Page, and Sam will tell you about the rest of our socials.
So if you think we are absolutely hilarious, which fun fact, my friends, we do have a TikTok. It is Just More Page Podcast. And for all the pictures, stories, anything else we decide to post, we do have an Instagram. It is Just More Page Official. So go ahead and check us out on there. Come follow us. Come slide into our DMs. I promise Morgan and I will not try to kill each other over
please
followers.
Don't.
But we love talking to y'all. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we will talk to you all next Sunday.
Bye. Be petty and keep on reading, y'all.
Be petty and keep on reading.
Bye.
Bye.
That's copyrighted, by the way. Okay, bye.
Yeah.